sometimes the history gets really weird. You know, the guy wrote the manuscript, great author, he wrote the manuscript, and then maybe he revised portions of it, and then he sent it to his publisher, and the publisher had his editors, and the editors did stuff, and then sent it back to the original author, and the author accepted this and rejected that, and then wrote him a letter and said, yeah, I accepted it, but I don't really accept it. You know, so you go and get all the manuscripts, whatever you can find, all the printed editions, whatever you can find, all the correspondence, whatever you can find, all the testimony from the author's, editors or friends or wife or all, you put all of that together. And then you say, okay, what's the authoritative text? They try to arrive at usually a base text. They say either, the edition printed in 1802 by such and such company in London, or it's the 1814 edition that the author oversaw or something. What's the right thing? And then they fix it. They look at all the stuff and they try to come up with the most authoritative stuff. And some of it's very interesting. Maybe I have an example for you. No, I don't think I have it with me. But there are some really cool examples. Gee, I thought I would have that. I guess I don't have it easily at hand. I have it someplace. But there are examples from Faulkner, from Mark Twain, from the literary greats, of mistakes. And where the editors have gone back and seen, this can't be right. They looked at it and said, this doesn't make sense. And they've gone back and they realized that, the typist has reversed 2 letters and made it into something else. Or that the editors changed, left out a line. That's a very typical mistake. It's made many times in Bhagavad Gita, first edition. It happens all over the place in the publishing world. You type a line, it ends with the word curious. And then, so you type that line, you're looking at the manuscript, curious. Then you go, and then you look again, and you start where you left off, curious. But it's 3 lines down the page. Because there's not only one line that ended in curious, there were 2 lines, and you pick up the second one. And everything between the first line and the second line gets left out. That happens quite a number of times in Bhagavad Gita as it is. And if you look through the stuff online, you'll see that, where text just gets left. In fact, someone just posted another criticism, he's changed this to this. And what it was something that made Krishna taught. Someone remembers, maybe it's 3rd chapter about Janak. Let me see if I can find this. Am I boring you? Am I going into too much detail? Okay. Okay, that's the one, 320. Maybe I'll show you this from the website. Third chapter. That's 20. See? Here it is. This is first edition. Being a great devotee of the Lord, This is Janak. Janak was the father of Sita and father-in-law of Lord Sri Ram. Being a great devotee of the Lord, he was transcendentally situated, but because he was the king of Mithila, a subdivision of Bihar province in India, he had to teach his subjects how to fight righteously in battle. He and his subjects fought to teach people in general that violence is also necessary in a situation where good arguments fail. That sounds sensible, doesn't it? And here's Prabhupada's manuscript. Oh, I did it again. I opened this up in PDF Reader instead of Adobe Reader. So we have to go to Adobe Reader. And we have to open the third chapter. Sorry about this, gang. Try to get you there fast. There it is. And now we're going to hit the little button. Paper clip. Get back there. Hey, take it easy. Hypersensitive cursor. Okay. Hit the paper clip. The father of Sita, the great devotee of the Lord, like King Janak, was transcendently situated because he was the king of Mithila, subdivisions of Bihar in India. He had to teach his subjects to follow the example. Lord Krishna and Arjuna, his eternal friend, had nothing to do with the battle of Kurukshetra, but still they fought to teach the people in general that violence is also necessary. See the difference? In the original edition, Janak and his subjects were fighting. And they left out a couple of lines there. And I've explained it in the notes. Yeah. The original manuscript said he had to teach his subjects how to follow the example. Lord Krishna and Arjuna, his eternal friends, had nothing to do with the battle of Kurukshetra, but still they fought to teach people, and so that the typist jumped from the first teach to the second teach and left out everything in between. So instead of Krishna and Arjuna fighting to teach, you had Janak and his subjects fighting to teach. So whether to fix that is a subjective judgment. And, you can see what you think about it.
And then is there something called conservative editing and
Yeah.
aggressive editing?
Conservative versus aggressive, there is. There are different. Yeah, there's you can call it light editing or conservative editing, or aggressive editing, or radical editing, or heavy editing. My tendency was toward conservative editing. And again, for all the books, not just revised books after Prabhupada's departure, but all the books you read, every page involves subjective decisions. Do I change this or do I leave this? For all sorts of things. And it's all subjective. I mean, objective in the sense words have objective meanings, and you go to the dictionary, which is supposed to be objective, but there are different kinds of dictionaries, prescriptive ones and descriptive ones. So even the dictionaries have different opinions. But generally dictionaries are authoritative, so you get what the meaning of the word is, and you have to ask yourself, is this the right word? And sometimes it was surprising, Prabhupada would be using a meaning of the word that was more correct than the one, or more precise than the one that's in general circulation. And you say, wow, I didn't know that. So you have to be conservative and not quick to strike out something that Prabhupada's written. You want to preserve Prabhupada's voice as far as possible. You want it to sound like Prabhupada, not like you. You want, above all, you want the philosophy to be as he intended. You don't want it to be changed because you have a different philosophy. So you certainly want to be conservative that way. You want to keep as much of the material as possible and not just strike something out because you think somebody wouldn't agree with it. Prabhupada directed us essentially to be conservative. He didn't want smoother and smoother and smoother and smoother. So we were trained to be conservative. Yeah, if Prabhupada had a preference, it was for conservative. Okay, we said we would stop at 8. We're at 8:15. 15 minutes over is as far as we're going to go. Again, if you have questions, feel free to approach me. You can write to me on email. You can, if you see mistakes, key to revisions explained. If you if you see mistakes, this address. If you want to really get all the juice, that is to say all the explanations, then bbtedit.com, including those original manuscripts. If you happen to bring a computer and you wanted to get a whole bunch of that stuff without going online, I can give it to you on a thumb drive. And that just about covers it, doesn't it? Thank you all very much for kindly taking the time and trouble to attend this evening. And enjoy your reading of Srila Prabhupada's books. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.